Hello, in this video I'm gonna show you the new just made simplified Rebirth guide version 4. I tried to simplify it a little bit so it's easier to understand. I understand it is complex and it's a little bit less complex now with the new simplified. So let's go ahead and go look how it seems like right now. So this is how it looks from the top here. As you can see, it's way less text on the wall upgrades here. It's more like a summary how you can work with it, and the same with the Rebirth cave. The tips and comments has been changed a little bit to make them shorter and more rule based. I also had added the new code that has come into the game in here. The right side is still the same. So what you see is new here is that we have a progress tree down here for all of those Rebirth cave upgrades. So let's go closer in and see what is in here. So still on the side here, and for wall upgrades I do still have these recommendation for your first Rebirth, how to do that, and where is simplified in here. If you need more detail, then you can go to the first version of Rebirth Guide 5 and see for that. What is really important to have is that you continue to upgrade all your wall upgrade equally. Yes, equally. That means keep the cost, as I say here, the same. Do not upgrade one really high then others really high later. You are losing way out of efficiency by doing that. Of course you can do it, but basically keep all wall upgrades equally. Not only that, but when you also are doing wall upgrades, what I see many people is doing is that they are just hatching common eggs to get a lot of gold to get the wall upgrade first. Or some people is doing differently. They go for Rebirth cave upgrades and not wall upgrade. They just take the best egg they can have and they barely earn any money. The best is basically to equally distribute this so that you earn both money and you get stones and so on. But remember, this is more after the first Rebirth. On the first Rebirth it is about getting all of those 240 pets. That is the most important. After that, the first Rebirth, it is of course of getting that. So basically getting to 10k and stuff like that, it depends how you want to do the game, but go to the other Rebirth guide if you want to have even more details. Then also for Rebirth cave, I'm just coming here for simply think that when do you unlock it? Like, well, 240 bats, most of you know that, but if you are new, you do not know that. You need to collect all 240 bats before you can unlock the Rebirth cave. And here you have the formula for the metallic. When you work on it, basically you focus on the metallic lock, and then you take the qualification lock in 1 to 2 of them, and generation speed 1 to 20. Let's say the metallic lock is then at 1000, then you will keep the qualification lock at 500 and the generation speed at 50. So this is what you do in the beginning. When the egg type that you're gonna use in the generation station, mostly I actually recommend to use the common egg there, and don't go and upgrade the speed more than the rule, because that is not gonna give you anything. Because I guess many people is thinking about, oh, I want to have my first metallic and so on. Well, it is like in the beginning, don't focus on the shiny. They come along, okay? They've come along and so on. There is a tip in the down right in this guide about how to get shiny. And the same is when you start with metallic. Don't think about your first metallic pet. It's more important to go for the golden come and getting up all of the different upgrades. And when you are coming to this point down here, when you really have got all of this up, then you will be focusing on getting a metallic up. So metallics comes when they come. So until then you will be here gathering a lot of shiny skins, so that when you get your first metallic you get a really good. And that's why it is so important to equally distribute between wall upgrades and Rebirth cave upgrades. So very, very important to follow that. Later on, when metallic lock is at qualification is at max, you will keep on doing generation speed according to your income. So this depends on your income. It depends how good server you're on, how good you are at getting your pets at the same area as the other ones, and also how much you can play and how much AFK you can do and so on, right? So your golden income would select this one. It's not the most important to do that, but in this case you're also starting to try to get your metallic lock to max. Okay, So that's how basically you do this. And then when you get your first metallic, then you unlock get polish metallic. Okay, and there are some tips down here. I'm not gonna go through them. They are self-explaining very shortly, and you find the code down here. So basically what then I'm gonna show you on the other side, you will have the tips that I talked about how to get shiny and so on, which is the most important for the gold. But go and watch those videos I have about gold income for Rebirth 5. All of the cost of the different Rebirth stones is in this table here on the right, and you also have all of the shortcuts in the game. It helps to use them. So basically then we are over to the tree here. So basically here you can see the order. So cheaper eggs first and primal prodigious. For the hatch speed I haven't written anything special here, but basically all extra that you have always when you do until you see hatch speed on the 500% that comes further down here, I'm gonna show it shortly. You will just take all extra into hatch speed because it's important to increase your hatch speed in the first 40 rebirth you're gonna do. You need this to get hatching faster and faster and do rebirth faster and faster, as it takes about 40 rebirth to get the 10k pet score if you're following this rebirth. After you have done this, the first rebirth, you will start to get 5% in 1 gold and 1% egg lock, and after that you will go for extended damage and extended drop rate collection. After that you try to get egg lock up to 10%. After this you get egg lock up to 20%. And what I mean by after that, this is like normally this is first rebirth, these two here. Second rebirth can be this one here. Third rebirth can be this one here. Or you can, for instance, take all of this on the second rebirth. It depends what you want to do. But remember, equally distribute everything in this game is important. Don't take too many at one rebirth, and don't take too little at one rebirth. Equal distribute. So normally I recommend 1 rebirth, second rebirth, third rebirth, and then in this one, this you can do in 1 to 2 or 3 rebirth. The egg lock to 10, egg lock to 20. You can also do in 1 to 3 or 4 rebirth. Normally I would take this in 2, 3 rebirth and so on, because I want to do it quickly. And then remember to take all extra into hatch speed. You keep on here, then you work after this. You will work with getting egg lock up to 25 and get fuse lock to 1. So this you can work on. Yeah, hopefully just 1 rebirth. I would take these two here. So in that 1 or 2 rebirth for those. And down here, after that, you will try to get primal ascended, primal mythical, and even cheaper egg. And this you want to do in 1 rebirth. So this is gonna be a longer rebirth because it's more worthy to get all of these when you do that. When you have got all of these, then you go to get fuse lock up to 8%. Here, and the reason for 8% is because of this is gonna make the epic egg more cheaper to get the stones from than the legendary egg. At just like 3 or 5%, the rare egg is even cheaper, and so on. So the further down you go, the less you need to have fuse lock. Actually, the normal egg is actually better even before you get fuse lock. So it depends what you want to go for, but basically to hatch anything at this point lower than epic egg is not giving any sense, because you want to equally distribute, and your gold income is gonna be so good that you want to keep that in here. After this, you're gonna try to get the extended drop rate, rare earth, proportional ground, froster, dune, rider, snow, and so on. This one is important to do faster rebirth. Discovery lock only to 1%, not more than that. There's no point to do that unless you are thinking about doing like hundreds and thousands of rebirth. Then this one becomes extremely important. Okay, so for this build here, that way you go to 40 rebirth, and then you start stop rebirthing until you have everything else unlocked, and then you take this later on. So that's the point for that. Fuse lock to 15%, and then hatch speed up to 500%. So at this point, until here, you need to get to 500%. You start building up hatch speed, everything extra, and here you want to have it up to 500%. So, and during this here, you probably have to do several rebirths to get all of these ones here. But remember, this rare earth and prosperous ground is now really important, because this is making the exotic score giving you a huge boost in gold income, because in this one you focus on having your pet in the same area as your other friends, mostly in mountain while you rebirth. After you have finished the 40 rebirth, then you move to grotto, which is the best one then. And then after you have done this, you want to get fuselage up to 25%, you want to get gold to 100%, automation station, you want to unlock that qualification station unlock, and generation station. You are here at, and during this one here, the rebirth, you will come to 40% rebirth. But remember, just unlock them. Do not start to upgrade them anything. Only unlock all of them, okay? And keep only the common one for the generation station. After this, you want to get extended speed, 100% pet speed, 1% in attack rate, and 1% to drop promotion, and unlock metallic lock here. And on the unlock the metallic lock, do not start upgrade that tremendously, unless of course you can do a little bit extra if you want to. But the chance for getting metallic is going to be so small, so the stones there is going to be a waste in this point here. It's better to follow the rule that I have put on the left side here, where you are following for the metallic rule that is up here, okay? So follow that rule instead of just starting to upgrade that a lot in there. After this, you want to get your drop rate to 100% promotion, and you want to get attack rate to 100%, and you want to get glittering gold. After this, you want to get gold hoarder, mega drop rate, and mega damage. When you have got this now, this is the time where you really start to get your metallic lock up from 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, some million zeros. At least that was what it feels like in this moment. You're from this point here, you are probably far away from getting your first metallic, but I have been playing with people that got a metallic just the first day of getting this on, so that was crazy. Actually, she got 2 of them, so that's funny. It can happen. And also qualification lock and generation speed, you can again see the formula inside of here. And for generation station egg, I recommend to use common, but if you have a tremendously good income, you can increase and make this better, okay? So then you can increase this here, but make sure that you constantly hatch all time the normal egg in this one in here. So, and then when you're after this, you try to get what qualification lock is to 100%. You're gonna then upgrade qualification speed in 1 to 2 cost from that one, and then your metallic skins. When you get your first metallic skin, you want to get polished metal. So basically then keep on doing this formula on the sides here until you have metallic lock and everything on the maximum. When you have all of these upgraded, then you go after this back to Rebirth Gate and upgrade the rest. The most important is the exotic cave, do all of them in there. Second most important is the exotic crystal lock. Unlock exotic crystal lock 2 and 3%, and then you do everything else. At this point you are earning so many stones, you're gonna get everything in the game, and you can start be thinking about if you want to do the Rebirth guide and so on. So I hope this simplified Rebirth guide is gonna help you and so on. Thank you. This was number 1 Gamer Wapatoffee. Like to subscribe, and bye bye.